NBA Miami Heat Dwyane Wade photo by Mark Brown, Getty Images. As the cold month of February closes, the NBA's playoff race is heating up in both the Eastern and Western Conference. Here are 4 potential first-round playoff matchups that'd be the most intriguing in the East. 1. Milwaukee Bucks vs. 8. Miami Heat. Look, if this matchup comes to fruition, I fully grant you the series could be a swift 4-game sweep in favor of the team with the 7-foot alien point center. But if I'm forced to choose between Charlotte 28-33, Orlando 28-34, and Miami 27-33, which I am, give me Miami and the D-Wade farewell tour. I'm down for some more jersey exchanges. Plus, Wade still flashes vintage step-backs and filthy Euro step finishes every so often, and can even procure those old-school skills enough to swing a playoff game, or maybe 2. Let's get wild. Miami has essentially the same roster as last season. The veterans regressed while the younger talent took a step forward, and the Hassan Whiteside experience is as perplexing as ever. Oh, and don't forget about Dion Waiters' once every 14 games or so 25-point Heat check. On paper, the Heat cause problems. With 10 to 11 legit playoff experienced dudes on roster, Miami has the depth to outmatch Milwaukee. Coach Eric Spoelstra is trustworthy in the postseason too, as evidenced by his 2 titles under the LeBron-Wade-Bosh triumvirate. Please, Point Justice and actually super talented Josh Richardson deserve their playoff debuts. I'm similarly anxious for a glimpse at the Bucks in the playoffs under Coach Budenholzer's revamped and pace-heavy system. It can't possibly be worse in the postseason than the Joe Prunty regime which crumbled against the Kyrie, Hayward-less Celtics in 2018. Giannis has finally been unleashed and is the most dominant at the rim scorer since Shaquille O'Neal. His shot, or obvious lack thereof, may be problematic, and can you really trust Malcolm Brogdon or Eric Bledsoe beyond the regular season? Previous evidence says the jury is still out. Middleton is a perfect Robin, and I like the 3-point shooting abilities of big men Brook Lopez, Nikola Mirotic, and Ersan Ilyasova. We've watched the regular season. This group is talented and has a historical statistical juggernaut, outscoring opponents by 8.41 points per 100 possessions. D-Wade's final act? Bam Adebayo guarding Giannis Antetokounmpo. Random Dion Waiters a 3-pointer game? Pink throwback Heat jerseys. Snowy Wisconsin and scorching South Beach. That's about as interesting a 1/8 matchup I could hope for. Next, Raptors vs. Pistons. Page 2 NBA Toronto Raptors. Kawhi Leonard photo by Rob Carr, Getty Images. Did someone say Dwayne Casey revenge tour? 2018's National Basketball Coaches Association's Coach of the Year was fired by Toronto and hired by Detroit. The result? Both franchises improving in the regular season at least. Toronto boasts the second-best record in the NBA right now, behind Milwaukee, and is easily the deepest team in the Eastern Conference. Nick Nurse has received plenty of praise, but general manager Masai Ujiri built the NBA's top-to-bottom most talented and diverse roster over the past couple years. Lowry still directs the offense, and everyone knows about Kawhi Leonard's brilliance at both ends of the court. It's the surrounding pieces that make Toronto lethal. Jeremy Lin and Fred VanVleet are 2 viable and battle-tested backup guards. Danny Green and CJ Miles can stroke threes, and Pat McCaw and Dwight Powell are athletic on the wing. I haven't even mentioned the front court yet. Take a breath. Round 2. Go. Pascal Siakam is the fastest forward in the league, plays ridiculously hard, and can shoot threes now. Helluva breakout year for him, maybe even MIP award-worthy. Serge Ibaka is an ideal complementary center who's probably getting paid a tad too much. OG Anunoby is a freakishly athletic young wing forward hybrid. Young Kawhi maybe. I'm just joking, kids. Calm down. And Marc Gasol. A better passing, better shooting Jonas Valanciunas. Yes, they look the same too. Now that is one heck of a contender. Honestly, I'm sorry Detroit. You have virtually no chance in this series. This roster is hilarious if to be taken seriously against competition as steep as Toronto. I'll admit, Blake Griffin has been phenomenal this year, posting the 5th of August 25 splits and reinventing himself as a below-the-rim savvy forward with underrated passing ability and more than capable three-point shooting, 36.7% on to 6.9 attempts per game. Aside from him, pure depression. Andre Drummond is the same slightly underwhelming but uber-athletic rim runner. Reggie Jackson is, well, Reggie Jackson, and this team has no wings. No true small forwards, not a one. Glenn Robinson 3 maybe, but he's been relegated to bench warmer status lately. Bruce Brown, Kerry Thomas, Luke Kennard, and Wayne Ellington are splitting time at the 3. Get the brooms out, this is a sweep. At least, Dwayne Casey looks of confusion and superhero Blake Griffin could provide some extra spark compared to a Charlotte or Orlando. But, it's the Raptors, with Kawhi, a boring franchise with basketball's most boring superstar. Page 3 NBA Boston Celtics Kyrie Irving, photo by Omar Rawlings, Getty Images. For this matchup to occur, Boston would have to pass both Indy and Philly to reach the 3 spot. Highly unlikely. But oh well, I can dream. And this series, if the Nets could pull it off, would be perhaps the greatest revenge upset in NBA history. I'm sure of it. Remember in 2013, when Boston and Danny Ainge pillaged Brooklyn's next 50 draft picks and sent the Nets into seemingly a decade of misery? Yeah, if Brooklyn could then beat that team that took all of their assets, acquired 2 more stars, Kyrie and Horford, and has wunderkind Brad Stevens as head coach, the city of Boston would melt. I'm rooting for this option. Hey Boston sports fans, screw you and your World Series title and your 6th Super Bowl. You guys deserve some pain. Please, NBA gods, allow Brooklyn and my favorite player in the world, Karis LeVert, beat the Celtics in Game 7 in the TD Garden. It would be delicious. From an X's and O's standpoint, Boston has every conceivable advantage. Except that they're on the verge of a mutiny against their star player and all seemingly play better without him. Kyrie has objectively been a terrible leader this season, and as a result, some particularly scary chemistry issues are brewing in Massachusetts. Irving is probably going to bolt in free agency after insinuating he'd resign last fall. Liar. Give Al Horford leadership duties and let Kyrie go off into his own world like he's done for months already. Whoever Boston plays in the first round, based off the roller coaster season, their postseason is sure to be a circus, and a duel with Brooklyn would only make things more interesting. Page 4 NBA Philadelphia 76ers Joel Embiid, photo by Gregory Shamus, Getty Images. The Pacers, without Oladipo, are not elite. But they simply keep winning basketball games. If Philly and Boston aren't careful, Indiana will steal the 3 seed. With enough surrounding pieces and an easy schedule down the stretch, the Pacers are in prime position to secure home court advantage in round 1. And they could absolutely drag this series out 5 or 6 games. I actually attended a Warriors-Pacers game in January, a week or so after the Oladipo injury. As expected, Golden State flattened Indy. However, I did like the way Nate McMillan changed his system to fit his remaining pieces. I'd compare the Pacers to Virginia in college basketball. They slow the pace down, run set plays, and use the shot clock. Of course, for this comparison to be serious, I have to note that the Pacers are allowing the least amount of points per game in the NBA right now. Their centers, Miles Turner and Domantas Sabonis, are the focal points of the offense now. Turner is a two-way force with ample pick-and-pop ability, while Sabonis is a chiseled low-post scorer. Through gritty defense and possible three-point hot streaks from Tyreke Evans and Bojan Bogdanovic, Indiana can steal a game or so in Bankers Life Fieldhouse, which is massive. By the way, the Simmons-Embiid regime lost to the star-less Celtics last season, so why can't they fall to the Oladipo-less Pacers with a frontline capable of limiting Embiid? Oh, wait, I forgot, Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris are also on this roster. Never mind. Sorry Indy, the Sixers are just too damn talented to lose. Not even Brett Brown could mess this one up, I think.